didn't see the trade coming. He was the team in many people's eyes. It'll be interesting to see how they evolve as a squad with him gone.
Here's Claxton following the bucket by the Jazz. Ball with it. Pass to Garuba. Clock at 6. Offline with a 3. And so it's Westbrook who will bring it up for the Jazz. Doris, think about Russell Westbrook's career. All-time NBA leader in triple-doubles.
B.A., there is so much to admire about Russell Westbrook, but I'm going to begin with something that I think is undervalued, and that's his willingness as a great player to play hard every single night on both ends of the floor. Tough, competitive, and skilled. He's a Hall of Famer. Pick and roll. Chris Paul, they are synonymous with excellence. This guy in the two-man game, look out.
Pass to Hendricks. Launches it. Brooklyn pulls it in.
Boy, he won't miss many from that spot. The defense gets lucky there.
And he lobs it up. And Collins with the slam.
Just tremendous recognition from Collins there. Sees an opportunity to be a target at the rim, and his teammate puts it on time.
And that was good.
And setting the tempo with an assertive move. Like, where was the defense on that play?
To me, that's a complete lack of communication on that side of the ball. These guys need to be talking to each other.
And he comes up with a bucket.
He doesn't back down from anybody. Paul has to be one of the most tenacious competitors in the league.
Westbrook can't hit.
Boy, that's one he wishes he could have back, especially against soft defense.
Paul can't get it to go.
Just enough of a shot contest to bother him.
The floater. Westbrook with the miss. And keeping us updated from the sideline, Allie LaForce.
I briefly spoke with Will Hardy, and when I brought up Chris Paul, Coach marveled at his leadership, saying he's a heck of a player and a natural-born leader. Few players in the history of the game have been able to command an offense and a locker room the way that CP has throughout his career. Coach has nothing but respect for the future Hall of Famer. B.A.?
All right, Allie, thanks once again. From the top of the key, that one goes. Count it.
Well, Russell Westbrook has worked hard, and you can see it pays dividends in the confidence he has in the jumper.
Doris, when we talk about home court advantages, the Jazz have amongst the best.
They do, B.A. You have to play at altitude. They're also a little bit isolated as well, so travel is hard. Let me tell you this, their fan base is loud, L-O-U-D.
Now here's Paul, giving them some good production, putting up just around 16.5 points a game.
It hasn't been his best quarter. I mean, he's trying to shoot himself out of a slump.
Russell Westbrook, always dangerous. This guy keeps constant pressure on your defense.
Outside Paul. Pass to Johnson. Back to Paul. Here's Claxton. The kick out to Paul. He hits that one. 2 for 5 now. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into this first quarter. Here's Westbrook. It's good.
Adds to their lead. They've been able to rely on him all night.
And guys, let's get your take on the scoring breakdown for the Jazz.
Ever since this game started, they've been attacking on the inside, looking for ways to bust up the defense and get high percentage looks.
And their assist total, also impressive early, creating with the pass and playing for teammates.
Using his size to full advantage, he beats everyone to the ball.
And finished off by Westbrook.
You can make the case Russell Westbrook elite in the history of the game at the point guard position. How about those hops?
Now here's Russell. Looking at his numbers, currently he's averaging around 9 points a game.
They've been just a little bit better on the glass so far, showing their tremendous work ethic.
And the shot is good by Westbrook. Westbrook's got 13 now.
Boy, let's remember, Russell Westbrook has an MVP trophy in his closet. This guy is working right now. You've got to get into him and make it tougher.
Here's Russell. They need this. And down it goes. Jam that one home.
Well, he's such a good athlete for a center. It's how he's able to succeed despite being one of the smallest fives in the NBA.
Stolen by Sharp. And pushing it up the floor. Here comes Brooklyn. Lets it fly. The shot by Russell, no good. The three from Sexton. Rebound Brooklyn. Outside Russell. Over connect. Misses the jumper. Russell Westbrook. He's been the guy making things happen for the Jazz. His fingerprints were... And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we played through 1 quarter of action so far. And from what we've seen from the Jazz, what's your take so far?
Well, coming into tonight, maybe you thought they were going to settle for perimeter jump shots. Nope, that's not the case.
They've certainly made the commitment to pounding the basketball into the painted area, and boy, is it paying dividends.
Oh, a great 1-2 punch. Beautiful pass and a nasty jam.
And you see the awareness Connect has a good understanding for when his guys are open.
And you know, you look at someone like Peyton Pritchard, Doris, heady guy who doesn't make many mistakes.
BA, maybe his best attribute in my mind is the competitive spirit and the motor he plays with. He's a fearless shot taker either inside or from three-point range. He makes excellent choices with his passes. But again, I go back to that competitive toughness.
Driving in, and he gets it to go. Now 2 of 6 in the game.
You have the sense that D'Angelo Russell likes to play through contact. This is a tough-minded player.
Here's Baji, and there's the rejection. Pass to Sharp. Russell from outside. That won't go. Just 2 for 7 shooting. Utah leading. And he jams it home with authority.
Well, scouts were buzzing about Connect's ability to attack the rim with a ton of ferocity. Now we see it in person.
They set the pick. Russell from outside. Here's Sharp. Second chance shot. Outside for Russell. To the inside. It's stolen. Sexton with it. And Melton picks him up defensively.
Well, that's an example of using both vision and playmaking ability to find the open teammate. Sexton is a quality floor general.
And the timeout called here by Jordi Fernandez. I think right now he must be looking at some adjustments. We're now about 2 minutes into the second quarter. Here's Paul. Pass to Claxton. Oh, he tries a 3. Offensive rebound. Jazz leading by 6. And here's Connect outside. Claxton with a rebound. Right side, Paul. Collins outside. Nails it from beyond the arc. Collins has got 5. All right, Doris, you think this heliocentric style of play can lead to championship success?
Brian, this is such a big-time question, and I think a difficult one to answer. By heliocentric, we mean that the best player on your team is making up a greater percentage of the usage, meaning the ball is in their hands more. What that has led to are some of the most efficient offenses in the history of the game. But does it lead to championships? That is the answer to the question we all seek.
Inside. Oh, they pick off the pass. Out on his own on the break. And here's Connect outside. Hits the three-pointer. He has 7.
And just unreal from outside with deep range. Connect is just knocked down.
Here's a 3 from Paul. Drains the triple.
That's how you up the ante. Come right back at him.
And you would expect nothing less from these two, taking pride and making plays.
Here's Baji. And here's Connect outside. Another 3 for Utah.
Well, they're leading in large part because of the work he's put in this quarter. This is nicely done.
To the paint. A shot by Johnson, no good. Utah leading by 8. All right, let's get a report from Allie.
Nick Claxton, despite his relatively slender frame, is a hard-nosed defender. He said, "I bow down to no one. Every time I step on the court, I always have that chip on my shoulder. That's just the fiery competitor that I am. At the end of the day, I know what I'll hang my hat on, the defensive side of the ball." Brian?
Okay, Allie, thanks for that.
Nice rebound. Trying to match the other team's intensity right now.
Haji, no good.
It's not easy to finish in traffic, but those are chances he has to convert.
He shoots. Paul with the bucket. Paul's got 5 points now this quarter.
Well, 9 times out of 10, that probably is a miss, but somehow he finds a way.
Haji. Claxton with the block.
Well, the length of Claxton, allowing him to reach out and affect the shot. That is really good defensive work.
For 3, Westbrook. That is now his 7th field goal in 10 attempts. Impressive.
Well, he showed right there, this guy capable of making shots, especially if you leave him that wide open.
Collins a screen. Here's a 3 from Paul. And that one goes. He's shooting 5 of 9 in this one.
That's his 2nd bucket from range this quarter after hitting none in the first.
Launches a 3. And again, it's Utah with a 3.
And good response from McCollum. A shot like this just demonstrates leadership.
To the middle. McCollum with a steal. And the Jazz pushing it up now. And the basket by Westbrook.
This is intelligent basketball. Forcing a turnover and then immediately starting the fast break.
And the foul on Chris Paul. That's foul number 2 for him.
And just a great job of getting there first and absorbing the contact.
Substitution on the court.
Stolen by Russell. And so that brings the first half to a close. It's the Jazz up by 11. And we'll return shortly. And there wasn't too much drama in the first half, but maybe things will tighten up here in the second. Nets trail by 11. Well, the Nets are still feeling the ramifications of trading for James Harden, Doris.
Well, B.A., consider in that trade they gave away Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and 4, count them, 4 first-round picks for a total of just 80 games played for James Harden. The reverberations are still being felt.
Yep, count it.
They've been a little soft with their defense on the interior.
Paul taking his time here. Pass to Claxton. Back to Paul. Here's Johnson. Oh, and Johnson slams it in.
A strong finish to cut into that lead a little.
Man, left no doubt with that one, Grant. Westbrook outside. Claxton with a rebound. And so Paul will bring it up for Brooklyn. 11-point game. They'll be off to Portland for a meeting with the Trailblazers after this one. It'll be game 3 of 6 on their current trip. The drive by Westbrook. And jams it home. Westbrook.
We know CJ can score it, but the passing component of his game, I mean, McCollum's really upgraded it.
Pass to Garuba. Let's go with a 3. Yes. And it's Paul with the assist that time.
Well, the defense deserves to get burned. Absolutely no excuse for leaving him open.
There's McCollum with the 3. Sends it home from three-point land. McCollum's got his 2nd bucket on the night.
Man, this is just fun. These teams are trading threes back and forth.
Well, that 3-point shot just gives you so much room to operate on the offensive end.
Pass to Paul. Just 5 on the clock. Utah grabs the miss.
And that closeout certainly made a difference.
Well, no question, he altered that shot, and most of the time, that's just as good as blocking it.
And here's Westbrook from the arc. Collins with the rebound.
Well, he hasn't proven to be much of a floor spacer for them. He had the 1-3, but that was back in the first half.
Claxton. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup.
You know, passing is what has defined Chris Paul's career, and boy, does he have a way to get his teammates involved.
Three-pointer. McCollum's shot is off. Nets trail by 11. Johnson on the wing. Now Paul. And the deficit down inside single digits. Paul's got 14.
Since he stepped between the lines of an NBA game, this guy has been consistently productive. Chris Paul doing the work.
Here's Westbrook. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Westbrook's got 6 here in the quarter.
All right, defensively now, you've got to find a way to slow this guy down because he's putting it to you.
And it's Paul off the drive. It's good on the putback.
What a nice response by Claxton. Knew exactly where it was coming off and sends it in.
Westbrook taking his time here. There's a minute 26 left to play in the third quarter here. Again, Utah.
And just totally relentless, only increasing the intensity level.
One thing I enjoy is watching players who don't pay attention to the score. You lock in on the moment and play the right way.
Here's Paul. And the Nets tack on 2 more.
Chris Paul will 2-point you to death with that mid-range jumper. He's made a living there.
Pass to Nesmith. Fires the 3. Collins with the rebound. Nets trail by 9. And he lobs it up top. Trying to go for a lob there. Excellent defense and anticipation to stop it. Here's Westbrook. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Westbrook's got 28 points for the game.
And defenses can forget how good of a passer McCollum is.
35 seconds left in the third. Here's Russell. Rebound, Utah. And at home for the next game, it'll be Charlotte pulling in to face him. That'll be the second of a 2-game stretch at home. Pass to connect. Ooh, and he took a hard foul on the shot. So he'll head to the line to shoot a pair. That one on Melton.
You see the upside in a rookie like Dalton Connect. He's got a good build and dynamic offensive skill set. Some improvements around defense, and he'll be a solid addition to any lineup.
Now here's Russell. He's got 5. Wing shot on the way. That shot off the mark. And so it's the Utah Jazz in a good situation, up by 13 points to close the quarter. Tough to run with them. They get the ball up. And there have been 2 very different performances from these teams today as we get going in quarter number 4. Here's Pritchard. Here's the 3. Here's Baji. Oh, he goes up high for the 2-handed slam.
And I just love how he's making the effort plays that everyone around him appreciates.
It is certainly making an impact tonight.
No doubt. On the scoreboard, in the body language of the players, you can tell which team is in complete command.
Here's Pritchard. And the 3-pointer goes. Pritchard's gotten himself going with a triple, his first basket of the game. Here's Russell. And there's the drive. Basket's good.
Oh, man, how good is he at turning on the Jets and getting to that next level? D'Angelo Russell, fearless, driving on the interior.
Here's Pritchard. Off target with the 3.
Boy, this guy just can't buy a bucket, and yet they have the advantage.
Pass to Sharp. And he caught that pass in full stride on his way to the big slam.
That's how you share the rock. He does this time and time again.
Here's Pritchard. From outside, off the mark. Nets trail by 14. First minute and a half of basketball played here in the fourth. Pass to Whitehead. And here's Sharp. And so he draws the foul, headed to the line to shoot a pair.
I don't mind that. I mean, they met him at the rim and temporarily prevented the points.
All right, guys, what do you think about the offensive approach we've seen so far for the Jazz?
What stood out to me was their passing. They moved the ball effortlessly and have been able to find those holes in the defense.
And their fast break has also been a key metric in this one. They have had a significant advantage in transition over the course of this game.
Pass to Paul. And here's Sharp. It's good. The assist that time from Paul. Sharp's got 5 points in the quarter.
Outstanding pass, on time and on target.
Outside Sexton. Jackson the screen. Lets a floater go. Sexton, that's good.
Well, Sexton showing that he's more than just a jump shooter. Very comfortable on the interior against size.
Outside Paul. And rejected. And that's out of bounds. Brooklyn will retain possession. Out of bounds. It'll be Utah's ball.
I'm not sure what happened there. You just can't give away